Have you ever found yourself completely overwhelmed and totally stressed out? Well, then give me a few minutes of your time. In this video, I've got 5 easy to implement strategies for what to do when you don't know what to do. So today's question comes from Melissa in Santa Barbara. And Melissa writes, "Dear Michelle, I've been getting my feet wet in the blogging world and I'm really loving it. I've got some stellar ideas I want to implement in my business, only instead of feeling inspired, I feel stressed and overwhelmed. I don't know where to begin. I really want 2012 to be a jamming year, so I ask you, any suggestions on where to start? How do you take that light bulb moment and turn it into something concrete? Thanks, Melissa." Well, Melissa, you have come to the right place because in this video I'm going to show you 5 really easy to implement strategies that you can put into practice right away and help get you out of that place where you're feeling a little stuck, a little lost, don't quite know where to begin. Alright, so step number 1 is to move. And what I mean by this is you've got to go out and you've got to lubricate your body, you've got to lubricate your mind, you've got to drink lots of water. Because any great inspiration starts with a shift in your physiology. There's a direct correlation between what you do with your body physically and how you feel emotionally. So if you're finding yourself stuck, the best thing that you could do, the best gift that you could give yourself would be to go outside and take a walk. Go to a yoga class. It doesn't matter if you're jumping rope in your kitchen, right? As long as you're doing something to engage your senses and your physiology, then you'll find that the inspiration and the energy will follow suit. So step number 2 is to acknowledge whatever it is you're feeling. I mean, look, from time to time we all experience fear and overwhelm and self-doubt. But what we do with it after that is totally dependent on us. You know, I heard Tony Robbins say once, leaders see things as they are, but not worse than they are. So acknowledge the elephant in the room, and then you can deal with it, then you can move on and move past it. Step number 3 is to evaluate and invest. And what I mean by this is to take notice of where your own personal stock is. When was the last time that you upgraded you? If you're feeling stuck, right, if you're feeling like you're at a loss for ideas, then stop and go ahead and invest in yourself. That can be in a book or a seminar, it can be a white paper online, it can be an inspirational YouTube video. It doesn't so much matter finding the right message or finding the right guru, right? What really matters most is finding some courage within yourself. So don't wait to be rescued. Participate in your own rescue, be your own hero, and start by putting good in. Feed your brain, and you'll find that it's more than worth the investment. So step number 4 is to announce it. Create some accountability for yourself and tell some of your friends about your big idea or your plans and even your time deadlines, so to speak, right? Create that accountability among your peer group. The other thing I would tell you is to start small. Go ahead and knock out those little things on your list that can be easily achieved, and it'll give you some momentum headed into those larger, more sizable chunks. Don't underestimate, too, that those little things can make a big difference. So just because it's something that you can knock off your list easily doesn't mean that it isn't important and won't play out big. Think about a golf swing. You can make just the tiniest little tweak at the tee before you hit that ball. But where that ball actually ends up, how that plays out, sometimes can be a huge, huge difference. So don't underestimate that those little things can make big changes. You've got to let go of being perfect. You've got to let go of waiting for that exact right moment for that inspiration to flow. And I once heard, it was some of the best advice that I'd ever heard, and it said, write for the trash can. So don't edit yourself. Don't wait for perfection. Don't expect perfection. Write as if you're going to crumple it up and throw it away and you've got nothing to lose. And then by just getting into the process, by getting into the flow, you'll find that more energy, more creativity just starts to flow abundantly as well. Step number 5 is to remember why. And by remembering why, what I mean is to remember your why. What was the original feeling that you had? What was the original intent behind this goal? right? And go back and focus on that. Take a moment to literally get emotionally associated with why you started this in the first place. Ask yourself, what if? And you know, typically we want to go to that fatalistic place. Well, what if I fail? What if I don't succeed? But I want you to flip that, and I want you to ask yourself the exact opposite. You know, what if I win? What does that look like? What if I blow the roof off of this?
So to recap, the first thing to do is to move. Get some energy in your body. Second thing is to acknowledge whatever it is that you think is holding you back, whatever that fear is for you. Move through it. Third thing is to evaluate and invest in yourself. Where's your own stock? Fourth thing is to announce, what are you working on? What's your big project? And then write for the trash can. And lastly, remember your why, what it is that you really were driven by initially.
So if you liked this video, please like it, share it below. I've made it very, very easy for you. But what I'd really like to know is, what are your strategies? What do you do when you find yourself in a rut or stuck, right? What do you do to kind of get yourself going again? I would love to create a little conversation here. So anyway, thanks so much. I'll see you next week.